Ladies and gentlemen, additional information is coming in about the details of the assassination attempt by the man who shot at Trump. In other words, the profile of the person who almost changed history is becoming clearer. His name is Cole Thomas Allen. He is 31 years old. He is a teacher from California, and he is alive. It was he who came to the presidential dinner with a weapon tonight. While America was recovering from the shock, investigators worked all night to identify the person who rushed at the Secret Service checkpoint. At the entrance to the ballroom at the Washington Hilton, where the President of the United States was sitting, early Sunday morning, the name was revealed. Not a killer from an action movie, but a teacher from Torrance. It's a small town bordering Los Angeles. Cole Thomas Allen. Not a professional mercenary, not a foreign agent, not someone with a military background. He's a tutor. He's a graduate of one of the country's top universities, a man whom his colleagues knew as Teacher of the Month. Allen grew up in Torrance. It's a quiet suburb of Los Angeles. In 2017, he graduated from the California Institute of Technology, Caltech. Gentlemen, this is not an ordinary university. Caltech is among the top 5 technical universities in the country. 1 second. Stop squeaking. I said, there is no country. It's one of the top 5 universities in the world. Only a few people get in. It's really hard to get in there. He got in. Then a master's degree in computer science at California State University. He got his diploma last year. And at the same time, he worked at C2 Education, a company that does tutoring and exam preparation. It was a part-time job. He helped children prepare for tests in December 2024. The company awarded him the title of Teacher of the Month. Teacher of the Month. And he also developed video games like a bunch of other guys who do programming. He published a game called Boredom on the Steam platform. He registered a trademark, an ordinary life, an unremarkable background, nothing that would scream danger. In October 1924, Kulan donated $25 to the Kamala Harris campaign fund. $25. A tiny amount, but as a symbol, it's eloquent. The person who came to kill Donald Trump financed his political opponent. The picture is coming together. Not like a foreign conspiracy, not like a professional assassination, something much more frightening. The radicalization of an ordinary person. A teacher, a mathematician, a computer guy. Of course, we don't know what was happening in his personal life, but on the surface, everything seemed fine. And here is this person who seemed to have everything in order, driven by someone or something to the point where he took a weapon and went out. Well, either certain death, because if you shoot at the president, the Secret Service shoots at you, or life in prison until the end of your days. What must be going on in his head that he decided to throw away his fate, his life in the trash just to kill the President of the United States? Probably in order to end the horror that the American media paints every day, every hour when they talk about Trump. Early reports said that the shooter was killed, but that turned out to be false. Kol Anziv. He was detained. Secret Service agents returned fire. As for Pavel, whether he was hit or not, honestly, I don't know for sure right now, but he's alive, as they say. Healthy. Maybe he was hit somewhere that's not serious, so to speak. He just lay down on the floor. He couldn't do anything anymore. One Secret Service agent was wounded during the confrontation. Allen came armed with several weapons, opened fire first, and rushed to the checkpoint at the entrance to the hall. The fact that he is alive is good news. Now investigators can prove it and interrogate him. We can find out who he really is, what motivated him, whether he acted alone, if there's a network behind him, connections, handlers. Besides, this is a story of a person's radicalization, the story of someone who, for the sake of an idea, well, as I suspect, influenced by the media, chose to go down this path. An absolute dead end. A dead end that ended his life. We will now find out how all of this happened. I am very glad that our nightmarish media, maybe, well, for just 1 second, will hear what they are doing to those Americans whom they claim they are protecting from the monster named Trump. There is no official motive, no manifesto, no statements. The investigation is just beginning, but the questions have already been formulated and they're urgent. What turned a brilliant Caltech graduate into a man with a weapon at the president's dinner? What was going on in his head in the past few months or maybe even years? Was he alone? Did he share with anyone? Who knew? Who could have noticed but didn't? And the most pressing one, the pressing question that will inevitably come up in the next few days, what was he reading? What was he watching? Who was he listening to? Whose words reminded him of his determination to go all the way? He is educated, seems quiet, radicalized. In my opinion, these are exactly the kind of people who are the most dangerous, because they are skilled and strong and because they go unnoticed, but they are not on any watch lists, they are not in prison, they are not in extremist databases, they don't go to meetings, they don't shout there, they don't march, they work alongside you. They teach your children. They make and publish video games. And then one fine day, they take several weapons and go from Washington to where the president is. Cole Allen, he's not a monster from the movies. He doesn't look like a killer. That's the real horror. Thomas Crooks, who shot in Butler, was also a quiet 20-year-old teenager. Ryan Rudd, who was hiding in the bushes in Florida, also just seemed like a somewhat odd working man. What unites them? Years of an information environment where one person was portrayed as absolute evil, which needs to be stopped. And they took on that role. What next? FBI investigators are already working with Allen's phone, computer, and his circle. Within 2 days, I think it will become clear whether he had any accomplices, how he got the weapon, how he brought it to Washington, how he got through the accreditation system. We don't know what he planned to do if he had reached the hall. Trump is alive, Allen is in jail. But the question that hangs over this whole case is much bigger than one person and one evening. How many more of these quiet tutors or whoever are now sitting somewhere in quiet suburbs? Educated, inconspicuous, and convinced that they are doing the right thing. What should we do? How can we prevent this endless series of attempts to assassinate Trump? Well, first of all, of course, we need to figure out what happened and how a person with a weapon ended up in close proximity to the president. There was a door and a wall between him and the president, but it was only 35 meters. And to reform and possibly punish those who allowed this to happen. But that's not the main point. The main thing is that it's necessary to stop the media hate machine. This is the most important point. I understand that you can't punish people who have the right to have their own opinion, but we need to agree on what is freedom of speech and what starts to become a call to physically eliminate someone. Democracy, well, especially a democratic republic, is based on the commitment of the majority not to persecute the minority. It is based on the fact that those who have power and the means to convey ideas restrain themselves through self-censorship. That is, to put it simply, they try to live by the principle of not doing to others what you wouldn't want done to yourself. The principle that was brought into our culture by the Babylonian scholar, rabbi, member of the Sanhedrin, Hillel Hagan. Well, translated, that means Hillel the genius. 100 years later, by the way, Jesus Christ uses this golden rule of Judaism in the Sermon on the Mount. I don't know if we can stop the flow of hatred that pours from the left onto everyone who doesn't share their views, but I know for sure that it's become just as difficult to talk to the left. Just like with the Orthodox Muslims who take any comment about Muhammad as an insult to their values, to their way of life, and immediately become eager to destroy you just because you mention the name of their prophet. Unfortunately, in this regard, the leftists and radical Muslims are like two drops of the same muddy water. If anything new comes up, ladies and gentlemen, I will definitely let you know. That's all for now. Goodbye. Until the next update. To be continued.